Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this King of the Showmatch game number 3. We have in the bottom, he's 2-0 behind, it's the Protest player Patjuh. And in the top, we have the current King of the Hill, it's Druidz Daax, it's green? Yes, the green Zerg player.
It is indeed green, Odie. And yeah, for some reason these players didn't go by the regular red and blue. But that's not a problem because it's just green and blue. And Daax, you mentioned he is the king of the showmatch, and he is. And he has actually been doing this for, well, this is his third match as the king. Am I saying that correctly? Well, maybe not. 2 weeks ago, we cast another PvZ
No,
from
this
him.
is his fourth match, because he has been battling Vandalay 2 times and Patjuh 2 times.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, he lost to Vandalay once, and then he won to take back his throne against Vandalay. It was a brilliant series, actually. And now he's been up against 2 Protosses in a row. Won a play and Patjuh.
Did you saw it? Trying to block the drone from mining right there.
Yeah, he's been really active with that. Of course, it's just a very, very incremental gain that you get, but it's nice enough, annoying enough. See some Protoss players actually zapping, but you know,
first.
and you actually know what's not worth it. It's if you let the Zerg get his second. But is this a fake, or I mean, he doesn't even have his forge. I mean, so yeah, this is definitely a fake. But it works. 4 drones getting pulled. That's a nice little trick. Cancel, of course. Good response from Daax, who now has to...
Could drop another at this point. Could try it.
Yeah, I mean he could, but he still doesn't have a forge, so there he goes.
No, but you know, it's just like the level of these guys is so high, and faking a lot. This also means something. So, but now, okay, he's already at the third, so he's trying to block that, trying to prevent that. But you know, blocking the natural. Okay, of course you want to delay it, but it's not a super big of a deal, right? I mean, come on. There are also players who never do it.
Yeah, I am wondering. Well, this probe is looking for ways to die and looking whether Daax will get his expansion up at the usual time. 4:15, we'll see it go down. If Daax is not going to do any aggressive sort of push, and there actually the probe is going to see what's up, because oh, there, and he sees the drone and immediately returns. Okay, so there's a bit of a annoying thing going on. But I'm actually wondering. I know you want to say that Patjuh should go for Blink Stalkers because Blink Stalkers are good on Cloud Kingdom, and you're right. But I'm wondering whether he'll try to do the same build that he did in the first game. It was his most macro-oriented build, and it's basically take 2 base, then tech up, go for Immortals, and then with the Immortals defend against Roach pushes. With a lot of sentries, of course, and then take your third, go Colossi, and push before the Zerg has Broodlords. That was the plan in the first game, and he didn't get there because the Roaches actually killed him. But now, what does he want to do here? 2 gas coming down. Well, it looks like he's going to do the same thing again. I mean, I don't mind because it's a good build. And Daax doesn't mind it either because he's just taking his third base as a usual Zerg player.
Well, why would he do the same thing again? Because what I like for Protoss, even if you do expand with Forge first or Nexus first or whatsoever, you can go for a 4-gate after it and kick really hard the third base of the Zerg player. That's what you see. So, and I like that. I'm more fancy of that build than doing some kind of very high-tech stuff. And you have to delay the Zerg. You have to do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's different opinions on that, of course, but I agree with you that these builds that Protoss are favoring nowadays, they leave alone the Zerg almost completely until about the 14th minute mark, maybe 16th minute mark, depending on what you want to do. Then you move out with the Immortals, and now we have the Robotics Bay finishing up, Robotics Facility, excuse me, finishing up for Patjuh. So again, he's going to do, well, first Corona boosting out an Observer. But then
So
I'm just expecting him to go into Immortals again and try the same thing. I mean, the Immortals will enable him to take a third, so it's not by any means a bad play. And maybe he could actually do something with more Warp Prism focus to distract the Zerg, but of course that would also be after he's taking his third, so yeah.
Okay, and this is quite cool what I think what just happened, because the Overlord of Druidz went in, but he didn't see everything. So he didn't see the additional gate which are now added. So
And look at this.
Patjuh is going to be offensive, I think.
Yes, the Twilight Council with Blink, definitely.
Yes. He's going to switch his plans, I believe.
3 more gates. Well, switching it, I'm not sure. I think he was gearing up for this then, but the question is, will this be some kind of all-in play? It looks like it if he adds more gates and really wants to put on pressure with a lot of stalkers. Meanwhile, what is Daax doing? Well, he's building roaches. The Blink Stalkers are of course quite good against roaches. Just 1 Evo chamber down. Not too greedy. He should be able to hold this off, but if Daax can get a nice timing, that would be awesome.
Oh, little overkill of the circling.
Yep, the circling
Well,
does
you
job
also-
though, but yeah, third going down, so no all in. That's good, I think.
Okay, but because what I also wanted to say, the first game is you have seen a few games from the GSL, right? This season.
Yes.
Because I believe it was Seed who was hanging a very long time on just on 2 base, and he had a lot of sentries and just a range army. And with that army, he was able to not lose any units or whatsoever, and the Zerg player just couldn't attack him. That was basically his plan. And I thought Patjuh was also going to do it, but you know, the third has already been the third Nexus has already been built, so there's no 2 base play for Patjuh right here.
No, and actually, this is the build I was talking about before. With Blink, get the Robo Bay, add more gateways, and there's no sentry here. Where? Ooh. This could be dangerous, but now the force fields are good, and actually they do block off the entrance into the main as well, but still, this is quite a tricky position because these roaches, they can hit a lot of stuff, and ooh, there the sentries go down and the Immortals are out of position.
He may not lose the sentries because Daax is now targeting down the sentries. The Immortals did some damage to the roaches, but there are a lot of roaches here, and he needs sentries to survive against the Zerg. Otherwise there's no way he will survive what he's warping in. No sentries, no, and oh, more stalkers are just lunge for these roaches, and they're doing a ton of damage to the army of Patjuh again. And the product of this attack will that the third base will be extremely exposed, but some nice blink micro right there, and an Immortal is popping out to save the day. But it would be perfect now to attack the third base. That would be, and that's what he's going to do, I think. Yes, he's already on his way. Oh boy.
Yeah, more roaches streaming down the map, and this third, it probably will go down because there's no way that this army will be able to hold it off. Just 1 Immortal, no sentries here, and yes, these are Blink Stalkers, but...
Oh, he needs to micro bad. Needs to micro heavily here.
Actually, this Immortal is doing a lot of damage, but now it gets targeted down, out of position again, and yes, so the Blink Stalkers just abandoned that poor Immortal.
And long live the speed upgrade of roaches.
But this actually Daax targeting down the Nexus, more Link streaming in, and I think these Links will finish off the Nexus, and actually Patjuh decides it's time to retreat. Painful. I mean, he has all the tech up that he wants, getting the thermal lens upgrade, Colossus range, and building a Colossus. I mean, that the army composition will be the way that he wants it. Of course, the sentries are gone. Blink Stalkers, well, just by themselves are not doing enough, and there's no third base anymore. And look at this, actually kind of BS from Daax. But look at
listen. Patjuh is now, he has an arm and stuff, but there's only one slight problem because Daax is on 7 bases. No, 6, yes. So, my god.
That's just
Come
total,
on, Patjuh,
total
you Dutch
BS,
guy,
but
show some killings, some kills here. We want, come on. We are Dutch guys and we have to beat the Swedish people, of course.
but now, I mean, for Daax as well, everything is up. Not only the bases, but his infestors are out, which is usually the well. Now for the next 3 minutes, Daax will be feeling quite safe, especially with these spine crawlers going down, and the infestors really with their fungals, and Daax should be safe. As of course, Patjuh should have been safe with those sentries against this roach push, but his army was just a little bit out of position, so that these roaches could just move up the ramp here, and yeah, I think that was just a single mistake we needed to make, and that's also why Daax is just such a hard player to play against, because Patjuh has been playing a wonderful game so far. He has not been messed with. He had all his buildings up when he wanted them, his economy up which he wanted and how he wanted it, and still one mistake and it's looking grim for him.
Yes.
I mean, he's taking a 4th base now, so let's see if he can hold this.
Yeah, but I like the fact, you know, it's good here to take the 4th base because he has seen that, you know, Daax is expanding all over the place, and he only did not see the hatcheries on the right hand side, in the bottom right and in the middle right. So
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, of course, and he's taking the 4th base just as a bit of like, well, if I can hold this base and if by some miracle Daax doesn't push in the next couple of minutes, then I'm going to be fine again in the late game. But if you look at the drone count, I mean, just a minute ago it was even worse. It was 40 something probes to 90 drones. I mean, the economy for Daax is clearly just out of control. It's completely crazy, and we'll have some Zerglings here. They are going to run by, but this is actually, I mean, this may look good for Patjuh, and this who actually is losing health on one Colossus. It should not happen, but these Colossus are enjoying themselves, you know, shooting some Zerglings. But of course, it was just to free up supply for Daax, who wants to build more units, and he's doing so.
yes, and there's an
corruptors.
engagement in the natural of Patjuh. Oh, nice blink forward there, and oh, those roaches completely surrounded, but
Yeah, and as I was saying, these little engagements, they Patjuh might be feeling a little bit better because his army is getting some exercise, but in fact he should be feeling horrible because he must realize that Daax is just throwing these units away and building his corruptors, more importantly of course, morphing them into broodlords.
well, actually, he, you know, what Patjuh is doing is to just maintain his army, and oh, he's upgrading Star right now. I like that. I really like that.
He is getting Storm, of course. Storm not so brilliant against the broodlords,
No, but you know,
but it's something.
he's getting. He's seeing Zerglings. He's seeing roaches. He's getting all different types of units against him, and well, I think, you know, splash damage. I think that's also a good way. Yeah, most times it's a good way to go, I think.
Yeah, Patjuh also he's kind of preparing for the broodlord.
Oh, he
He's
was
getting a Stargate up, and there we go. Some
Yes.
roach going down, but he wants to get the mothership because it's the only way he can defend against the brutal army. If he gets the perfect army engagement and can land the vortex, that will be his ticket back into this game.
But it's going to be very hard because Neuroparasite has already been upgraded for Daax.
Oh, good call. Yes, and Daax loves Neural Parasite.
He does? Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, a lonely hero stalker right here. 1 kill, 2 kills.
actually, the Corruptor is going like, what are you doing? And actually, these.
Is he
Look
going
at
to
that!
get
He's going to kill the infestor.
Yes, it does! Wow.
Just before going
Effective
down.
Of a very effective stalker.
That was indeed a very effective stalker. If only all stalkers could be that effective.
But you know, the army of Daax is getting scarier and scarier. Let's see what he's got in his composition. 15 Corruptors and 14 Broodlords, so that's quite mass Broodlords.
It's completely out of control. I mean, they're ouch. I mean, the fleet beacon isn't even halfway done, let alone the mothership. But here are all these Broodlords tearing apart Patjuh's army. The nerfed infested Terrans are being planted, but I mean it doesn't even matter, they even spawn, and the entire army of Patjuh is gone. Just these few stalkers remaining, and they will get cleaned up very quickly, shooting at the corruptors, but Daax does not care.
Yeah, man, the army of Daax is massive right now. 20 Corruptors and 10 Broodlords.
And he is remaxed again, while Patjuh is sitting below 100 food.
Oh boy.
Not looking good for him, man. Of course, it hasn't been looking good for him in about the entire matchup. I like that he's going around with his zealots. They have a 3 weapon upgrade and they're going to target the hatchery. But in the meantime, the real damage, of course, has been doing here. A nice storm, but as I said, storm's not the best against the Broodlords because they can take, I think, 3 or 4 storms. More stalkers dying, more infested Terrans being puked out.
Yes, but actually, Patjuh's blink stalkers are mobile right now. The vessels don't have any more energy, but there are more coming in. Oh, that's quite bad for him right there. And well, this army looks indestructible, and there's the GG.
GG, well played again, and I completely agree. Yes, it was a good game by Daax. What can I say?